This is Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition. Short stories, three's a crowd, the finale. When we left off, Salema had withdrawn her unconventional proposal to Big Wood, made it clear that she had no real interest in him and that he was all Tru's if she wanted him. When Salema asked Big Wood and Tru what they planned to do with their vacation time, Big Wood made it clear that, at least for the next 24 hours, he intended to spend it with Tru. And when they climbed aboard the private plane, Tru was prepared to get Big Wood all the way together. She didn't like how he explained and described what he planned to do over the next 24 hours. But before she could get a word out, she was shocked. Big Wood had clearly done his research. He knew that her family owned a Creole-style restaurant in North Carolina, and he had most of the items that were on their menu waiting for her. He also had roses, mimosas, and light music playing. Before Tru could say a word, Big Wood said, "You on my time, little mama. Sit back and enjoy the ride." Tru said, "I was just going to say good looks because I'm hungry as hell." As they ate, they discussed what happened the day before, and Big Wood said, "You got to know that you're going to have to pass a lot of tests to do what it is that you plan on doing. And the truth is you're going to fail some of those tests. And that's not going to eliminate you from the game, but it's going to prove what you're really made of and what kind of work is really appropriate for you. There are things that I just don't do because I can't handle them. Not because I'm not capable, but because they conflict with my morals and values. I'm not an indiscriminate killer. The family's put down a lot of work in the DR over the last month or so. And a whole lot of it I wasn't involved in because it involved women and children. As Stephanie's right hand, you're not going to be able to turn down those assignments, little mama. They won't just be jobs for you. They'll be the job." That was the first time that Trude heard that or even thought about that possibility. And she didn't know how comfortable she was with causing harm to women and children either. Woody said, "Don't get me wrong. The families are usually hands off with women and children, civilians in general. But anybody who mess with their family, they can get all that work. They just can't pay me to do it." When the plane landed in Denver, Tru was confused. He said, "I thought we was going back to Dallas." Woody said, "Nah, I got this cabin until Monday. I'm going to get part of my money's worth at least. Besides, I didn't want either of us to be available. In all fairness, I think our 24 hours should start now. I'm trying to show you a good time, get to know you better. And by the end of the 24 hours, we should be prepared to discuss how we move forward." Tru said, "We've both been clear that we're not looking for anything serious. I'm trying to get in the life and you have plans to eventually get out of it. But either way, I think we can both agree that being in the life makes anything real difficult, if not improbable." Woody said, "And that's something we discussed at the end of the 24 hours. All I'm asking you is to have this experience with me with an open mind. Be yourself. I'm going to be myself. And let's see if we like the version of each other that we get to know. We might find out we don't even like each other like that." Tru said, "Agreed." Woody said, "But you got to promise me something." Tru said, "What?" Woody said, "That you won't shut down and put your mask on and your wall up when you realize that I'm what you need in your life." When they got back to the cabin, Woody let Tru know that he was taking her to the slopes. He saw that she was good at it and really enjoyed it. And he wanted to learn a little bit more about skiing himself. When she said that she didn't have her supplies, he said that it was his treat. He was going to buy her whatever she needed while they were there. And Tru said, "I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I found that when men spend their money, they expect something in return. And it's not always something I'm willing to give. And even if I am willing to give it, I'm not willing to give it in exchange for money. I have money of my own. I was good when I went to the DR. And checking that offshore account, respectfully, I'm up." "They make it hard to walk away, don't they?" Woody said, "Exactly. Which is why I stack my paper. I leave it in the offshore, let it accumulate, so that when I'm out, I have no reason to go back." Tru said, "You serious about getting out, huh?" Woody said, "As a bullet." Then he said, "So how about you let me pay for our plans for the next 24 hours and recognize that I don't expect anything in return. I got it and I know you got it too." Tru agreed and they began their date on the slopes. When they were done, they had a late lunch, headed back to the cabin. showered and changed, and then sat in the Four Seasons room around the fire pit, sipping lemon drops in 1738. They laughed and talked about the ski experience and how foolish Woody's big behind looked, falling and sliding all over the place on the skis, and talked about what life was like growing up, Woody in New York City and Tru in North Carolina. They also talked about all the places they'd been, the places they'd like to go, the things that they enjoyed doing for fun. And when they started talking about what they would be and what they would do if they weren't doing what they were currently doing, Tru admitted that she'd always been medically inclined, good under pressure, and known to save a life a time or two, but that she'd never really made plans for her own life. She'd always just followed the plans that her parents set out before her until she met Bo. And even then, her plan was to continue in the restaurant business. When Woody asked why she didn't go into medicine, she admitted that not being able to do anything to save Bo's life left her with a little PTSD. So no matter what part of medicine she were to involve herself in, there'd have to be losses because you can't save everybody. Losing a patient would send her over the edge. When Woody asked if she'd considered therapy or some other outlet to work through that trauma, Tru was shocked. It was this hardcore gangster talking about therapy. Woody said, "Yeah, I've been seeing Angela and Stephanie's cousin, Dr. Miranda, for a couple of years now. My grandmother died and things finally ended with Tasha for real. I had to talk to somebody before I crashed out." And Woody shared why his grandmother was such an instrumental part of his life and what she taught him and what kind of woman she was. And seeing Woody talk so affectionately about the woman who was his favorite girl, as he called her, added another element of humanity and sensitivity to her view of Big Wood. And when he told her that his dream was to go to college and become a licensed clinical therapist, her mind was blown. He said, "The game needs more therapists like Dr. Miranda. There's always going to be crime and there's always going to be gangsters. But even the most hardened criminal has a heart. They have a past, they have a soul. And it's torture trying to reconcile your morals and your values with the life that you've chosen or that's chosen you. It's an oxymoron to say that they are honorable criminals. But the truth of the matter is that the families, they have a code that they live by. They have standards and requirements. And they don't accept everybody, put up with every and anything, or allow all kind of immoral and debased things to transpire under their nose. They'll slit a nigga throat and go home and help their kids with homework at night. They get married and remain faithful to their wives. Somebody get hurt or sick or die and they take care of that man's family. And if you do square business with them, they do square business with you. They don't make enemies, but you make yourself their enemy and they will eliminate you. And that requires a certain level of psychological balance." When the two were done talking, Woody said, "There's an outfit for you in the closet. Go put that on." When Tru headed in the bedroom, she was shocked. She expected to find an outfit that was revealing, tight-fitting, and had all her goodies on display. Instead, she found a tasteful sweater dress with knee-high boots, a matching waist belt, purse, and accessories, and a waist-length fur coat. She got dressed, did her makeup and hair, and when she came out, Woody was dressed and ready to go. She was pleasantly surprised to learn that he'd set himself up in a separate bedroom, since there were plenty to choose from in the cabin. Tru said, "You clean up nice." He said, "So do you. You look good, little mama. God damn." Tru said, "Where we going?" He said, "It's a surprise." And they pulled up outside the Mercury Cafe, a spot that offers dance lessons, poetry readings, and open mic nights. Tru said, "Oh, I've heard about this place. Me, Stephanie, and Rennie were planning to go the next time we take a girls trip." Inside, there was live music and people taking turns getting on the mic. And Woody said to Tru, "You should get up there and show me what you got." When they were discussing things earlier, Tru had shared that the way that she gets out her frustration and relieves stress is by writing poetry. When she lived in North Carolina, she would go to poetry shows and get on the mic and bless the people with something. Woody said, "I saw you writing when we was on the plane on our way to New York to pick up my nephew. You looked real focused and committed. Was that some of your work?" Tru said, "Yeah. You know what? I'm going to get on the mic." Tru put her name on the list and they sipped drinks and enjoyed the show, and when her name was called, she got up on the stage and hit him with a poem that was clearly written for him. Tru said, more than I can give is what they want now. They want a heart that I don't even own now. How you falling in love and you don't even know Tru? You only know the what death left behind Tru. You don't know the cold, hard, nasty, ugly truth. Why would you even want what's left of Tru? When Tru wasn't even ish before, to tell the truth. Loving the realest nigga I ever knew in his face was Tru. And getting my back blown out by another while he was going through. Not because I was grimy, but I was on my tit for tat. Thought he was playing me, so I had to get him back. Whole time I ain't even know he was fighting for his life. Praying to live so he could make me his wife. And I was freely given what should have only been his. I should have been by his side, holding him down and handling my biz. They say once a good girl's gone bad, she's gone forever. So now with Tru, the only thing a nigga good for is pleasure. I play no games, keep it real from the gate, show all my cards and tell no lies. So don't get attached, keep your love and guard your heart. And that's a word for the wise. If I didn't hold him down, what makes you think you'll be different? I suggest you let what I'm willing to offer be sufficient. Son, what you see is certainly not what you get. Cause I'm gonna get my nut and leave you spent. Have you questioning whether I gave you the real or the fake name? The fake is for my protection, it's not a game. Cause I like to get in and get out and be hard to find. Cause I give it up, they love it here, and I'm on their mind. If I give you the real number, you're gonna end up blocked. If that's not enough, I'll change it so I can't be clocked. I already know how it's gonna go, bro. Baby, I wanna see you. And when I say no, you mad and in your feelings like I ain't tell you from the dough. Baby, I miss you. You miss me too. And now you at my door knocking out the blue. I thought only chicks fall in love with a dream. But clearly niggas do too, at least that's how it seems. You know how many niggas done said they love Tru? And I would never choose a nigga who's just a member of a crew. If I was choosing, it wouldn't be a worker, it would be the boss. Cause with a lackey, it would be too easy for me to take the loss. Not hating on a hustler, I'm just not that kind of chick. I'm his girl, he my man, then it gotta go like this. If he pull, I pull. So when he busts, I bust. What's his is mine, and what's mine's is a plus. His time is mine, even when we not together. And another chick can't see it, taste it, smell it, ever. I'm in his heart, on his mind, and in his bed forever. And if I die or he die, we dying together. The crowd erupted, and Big Wood gave Tru a standing ovation, and when she got back to the table, he grabbed her, pulled her in his arms, and said, yeah, you gonna be a problem. When the night was over, they headed back to the cabin. Inside, Woody said, get comfortable. Let's meet in the Four Seasons room. When Tru joined Woody in the Four Seasons room, in her vibrantly hued loungewear, robe, and slippers, Woody was waiting with strawberries, chocolate, halal marshmallows, graham crackers, and spiked hot cocoa. He said, so I like that poem you laid down, but I got some questions. When you told me about losing the love of your life, you didn't mention that you was cheating on him while he was dying. As the tears rolled down Tru's face, she told him all about thinking that Bo was seeing somebody else, and that's why he didn't come and visit her at school the way that they planned. He wasn't calling or answering her calls, had no real reaction when she said she wasn't coming home for spring break. She told him about the trip that she, Stephanie, and Rennie took to Miami with the rappers from New Orleans. She told him about sleeping with one of the rappers, how she regretted it, felt bad, continued trying to get in contact with Bo when she got back to school, and how she went to his family home when she got home for the summer, and how his mother told her to move on. And then she told him that for the rest of that summer, she'd hooked up with that same rapper on multiple occasions. And when she got back to school, she started seeing that rapper on a pretty regular basis. And that didn't end until the day that her parents showed up at her dorm to tell her that Bo was dying. Tru was virtually inconsolable. Woody went to her and wrapped his arms around her, held her while she cried, and said, so now you think that you don't deserve love because of a mistake that you made when you were, 20 years old? You should have to pay penance for something you did more than a decade ago. Something that he never even knew about. Something that would have never happened if you knew what he was going through. I'm not telling you not to feel bad about the bad things that happened in your life. I'm telling you not to let the bad things that happened in your life keep you from the good things that can happen in your life. Let me love you, Tru. Tru looked at Woody and said, I don't even know how. Woody said, "Let me show you. Let's just take our time and do what feels right. We can figure it out as we go along, but we can figure it out together. Teenage love and grown-up love is not the same. You are not the woman that you were when Bo died, and you will never be her again. But you get to decide if you'll be better for it or worse." Tru said, "And you get to decide to go back to college and be a therapist." Woody chuckled and said, "Touche. Right now, I'm not trying to be a therapist, and I'm not trying to talk you into doing anything you don't want to do. But the woman that I saw on that stage, the woman who had that crowd jumping, and the woman who just took down the head of one of the most dangerous organizations in the world are one and the same. And I like her." Then Tru pulled Woody's face to hers and kissed him. And right there, in the Four Seasons room, with windows all around it and a fire pit raging, Woody slowly and meticulously peeled Tru out of her clothes and kissed every part of her. When he got to her yoni, he took her to the edge and backed up, took her to the edge again and backed up. And every time she tried to stop him and have him take her in the house, he restarted and doubled his efforts. He could tell that Tru never really had pleasure in that way, and he wanted to ensure that when she went, she blowed. After the fourth or fifth time of bringing her close to the edge and backing off, Tru was begging for release, and Woody gave her what she was asking for. When Tru sprayed all over Woody's beard, she was shocked and embarrassed. Woody was feeling like he had just conquered Mount Kilimanjaro. All Tru could do was lay there like a loose noodle. She'd never experienced orgasm from oral pleasure, and she wasn't sure if her legs was gonna work. Woody carried Tru into the house and into the room where she was gonna be staying for the night, laid her in the bed, and pulled the covers up on top of her. When he turned to leave the room, Tru said, "What the hell you doing, nigga?" Woody said, "I'm not trying to take what you not trying to give." Tru said, "Nigga, don't play with me. I'ma need that." Woody chuckled and said, "I got you. I'll be right back." He went to his room and got one of those supersized, oversized condoms of his. And when he turned around to head back to Tru's room, she was standing behind him. He didn't even know she was there. She swept his legs out from under him and he landed on his back on the bed, just like the first time. And he said, "You're not going to do that to me but so many times, little mama." Tru chuckled and said, "I love to put a man on his back." Then she took her time, taking him out of his clothes and giving him that mouth treatment. And Woody was clawing the sheets, pulling her hair and calling on his maker. And when he was on the edge, she backed away, slowly and meticulously rolled the condom on. And before she could get on top and do him dirty how she did the first time, he flipped her over on that bed, slowly and gently eased himself in, and proceeded to give Tru the best sex she'd ever had. Woody didn't screw Tru. He made love to Tru. He gave her soft, sensual, slow, passionate, gentle lovemaking. And when she had gotten hers a time or two or three, she said, "Get yours, Daddy." Big Wood said, "You sure?" And Tru said, "Hell yeah." And Big Wood went for broke. He dug, drilled, slammed, and pumped in Tru like he was digging for gold. Like he was never going to have this chance again. Like she'd hidden the key to life in her womb, and he was determined to find it. He went so hard that he felt the condom pop. And when the pleasure intensified immediately, he let out an expletive and jumped up out of that thing. When Tru asked what happened, confused, Woody said, "I want you to have my babies, but not like this." "Wait, I didn't mean to say that."